Hey, welcome back to Let's Chat About It. I'm Lenora Sneva, and I'm with Vallane, my daughter.
Hi. I'm going to be hosting today's episode. I'm going to be interviewing my mom about her first book,
Yay!
Start with Listening, How Leaders Earn Trust and Shift Culture from Day One. It was released today. You can buy it on Amazon.
Yes, you can.
Very exciting. And today's also my mom's birthday.
Yeah, there
This
you
is a
go.
super special episode. And the book is mainly for managers and just leaders of a team in general,
Exactly.
and how they can better help the culture of a team in specific ways that they can do so. So my first question for you,
All
Mom,
right.
is the format of the book. I've read like half of it. I haven't read the entire thing, but the format of the book is kind of unique, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with the format? How you decided to structure each chapter?
Well, I wanted to make sure that that it was easy to read and that you could maybe just read it in the weekend. There's nothing I think more challenging than getting like a leadership book and it's like 500 pages long and it's going to take you like, weeks to read it just because you don't have a lot of time. So I wanted something that was short, to the point, but also had some like exercises and some journal prompts and reflection questions, because I think that's where you can really learn and grow, is when you read something and then you have some questions about it to really sit and think about it.
Okay. My next question for you is, what inspirations did you take to be able to write this book?
Oh, yeah.
How were you inspired?
Yeah, I think because I work in management, and I think because I sometimes do some coaching with leaders. I've been doing this probably for the last 15 years or so. Um, you just see people maybe make um, decisions that maybe you wouldn't do. And I've done the same thing. So I'm not just saying other people have done it. I've done it too. And so you just learn and grow from that. And I think just over time, I just started to see some trends and things that like, yeah, I don't know if I would have done it that way. And, oh, I don't know if you should have done it that way. And so I just had a lot of thoughts in my head. And I thought putting those together might be helpful for other leaders going into like a new team or, yeah.
My next question kind of was in your answer about how you were talking about how you have made mistakes too.
Yeah.
I noticed your book had a big emphasis on humility
Yes.
and empathy and really humanizing the leader.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts about that, and why did you decide to make that such a big emphasis in your book?
Well, I think it's just something as a leader. I think the best thing that you can do, and if you read the book, you'll hear me say this a lot, is to be curious and humble. And when you're curious about something, that means that you have to kind of pause and not put your own spin on something. You actually have to be a good listener, which is the name of the book, Start with Listening. So use it, like driving with curiosity, like leading with that, I think is important. Leading with empathy shows that you care about people, and that builds trust. Trust happens over time. It doesn't happen automatically. But I think if you show up that way, it helps people kind of put their defenses down, especially because it's change for people. So if you come in as a new leader, it's like, oh, great, am I going to get fired? Do I want to stay with this new person? What are they like? So really being intentional about how you present yourself to the team is important, and how you are strategic in the conversations that you have and the things that you say are really important.
And I don't know if you've mentioned this in your book. I know it's more geared towards like the leaders of a team.
Yeah.
But what advice would you give to a team member that doesn't feel heard by the leader, and that feels like the leader isn't running the team in the way that
Yeah, that's
is,
such a good question.
beneficial?
I always think you need to just go directly to the person first if you can. Um, you could go to HR, but like to me, it's like we're adults. So go to the person. So go to the leader and just say, hey, I know you're new here. I've been here for a couple years. I have some observations. Can I share them with you, or whatever? Something like that. I think just go to the person directly.
Do you think that there might be some apprehensiveness because of a power imbalance between a leader and a member?
Absolutely. There's always a power imbalance, but and so you have to be, cognizant of that, but also you have to try. There's like a mutual friend that you and the leader have, maybe go through that person, but try to go to them directly first is my best advice.
For the process of writing, what do you think was the most difficult thing for you?
Oh gosh. I getting started.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the hardest thing. I think I even put on the podcast, back in August, September last year, that well, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to have it done by December, which didn't happen. Life was happening. So I just think it's hard to get started. Like you have all these thoughts in your head. And then to get started is, for me, was the hardest thing. It was like, okay, putting pen to paper or just, sitting down at the computer, just like typing out your thoughts. And then it just seemed a little jumbled to me. But the more I wrote, and or even like for me, just using my iPhone and just talking into it
Mm-hmm.
was helpful. Just getting my thoughts out. And then it
And
just started to come together.
I know right before you wrote this, or maybe the timeline overlapped a little bit, but you were helping your dad with his
Yeah,
own.
exactly.
So, how did that translate into helping you? Did some of the skills that you gained while helping him help you write yours?
Yeah, because I helped my dad write a book. It's called Playing with Other People's Money. It's about in day trader investing tips. And I think what it helped me realize is I can do this. And I did self-publishing through Amazon, which it wasn't that hard. So going through that with him the first time, it was kind of bumpy, but then for me to do it was a little bit easier because I'd already done it. Yeah.
That makes sense. And for people that want to maybe write a book someday, that
Yeah.
are interested in
Like
doing a
you want to
similar
write a book?
thing, maybe
Maybe.
not,
Yeah.
that are interested in doing a similar thing,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them in terms of like the process of going through like
The publishing
yeah,
part?
the self-publishing part?
Yeah. I know Amazon is not a favorite of everybody's
Mm-hmm.
for many different reasons, but I did use them because they have wide distribution and it's pretty easy. So
Compared to like getting it published through an actual
yeah,
publishing
because
house.
yeah, that takes longer, and I just wanted to get it out. I would consider it maybe the next time my next book, maybe I'll try to publish it, but you have to get an agent or you have to find like a really small publisher and do it, and which takes time, and that's fine. I have it. I need someone to help me show me the way on that one. So I do have a couple of friends that have written books. So that way, so I might consider it next time. But if you want to self-publish, you want to do it pretty quick. Um, I think using the Amazon kind of way is the best.
You mentioned next time. Do
Yeah,
you think that you would, write a different book, maybe about a similar topic, but obviously not the exact same
yeah.
thing, or would you like go in a different course?
I think I would keep a series of books for leaders. Yeah. So I think the next book that I'll write will probably be around, communicating effectively with your
Mm,
staff or around feedback. I think feedback's super important. That's actually what I thought I was going to write about, and then it turned into something else. But I figured this is a really good stepping stone um, for going into a new team. Is really listening, doing a listening tour, meeting one-on-one with staff is super important. People want to feel like they're heard and understood, and the best thing you can do is have a conversation with them.
mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, you want to do a meeting with the whole staff, but if you can meet individually with each person, I think that gives people
Personal connection,
that personal
one to one.
connection. It feels like, oh wow, they care about me.
Mm-hmm.
They took the time. I know they're so busy.
Right.
I'm sure that increases respect. It also increases trust, especially if you can follow through on anything that you may have promised in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all really good things. And it again, just connection is so important. And then you can also get a really good sense of people. If you can do that in person too, I would highly recommend that rather than virtual. But I know that's not always easy.
Right. I know you mentioned in your book it would be better to have an in-person meeting where you could speak to them.
Yeah.
My next question is in the future, because you yourself are a leader, you do have a team that kind of reports to you.
Yeah.
If you notice yourself, making a few mistakes,
Yes.
do you think that you would turn to your book for some advice?
Well, I'm not a new leader to this group, but I do think there's still, even if you're not a new leader and you've got an existing team, there are some really good things, especially if you need to like reset a team.
Mm.
Yeah. So if there's been something that happened and you just kind of need to, we just kind of need to start over again a little bit. I think this book is also really good. So yeah, I guess I would, if there's something that we get in a little bumpy patch, this might be a great tool to use for me to kind of like, hold on a second.
Yeah, let me think about what I said.
Yeah.
This is kind of a more fun question, but what was your favorite part to write?
Oh gosh.
Like chapter or just like section in general?
Well, I just like in general, I love writing the reflection part. So I did at the very end of each chapter, I think I call it like my reflection. And so I'm usually taking one of the reflection questions and expanding on personally, like, here's something that I've done, or here's another tip or suggestion. I liked writing that part,
Yeah.
just because it's so personal.
And I also know that you used me and my sister for some help when you were writing.
Yes.
How was it helpful to use other people's opinions and
Yeah.
feedback and perspective in writing your book? Not even just me and Zaya, but
no, I was, yeah. So I actually did a survey. I put it on LinkedIn. I sent it out to some friends and colleagues, and I had about 52 responses, which isn't like earth-shattering, but it was a really good data that came back, and it kind of clarified and solidified where I was going. And people kind of said the same thing, like, you need to build trust and you need to sit down and have one-on-ones. Like, those were some of the options for people to choose, and people for sure, I think it was like, 70-80% of the people said that was like the number one thing, one-on-one. Right. And so that was really good. And there were some really good like quotes in there. So I included a couple of those at the very end of the book and a couple throughout the book also, from people.
And in the future, you were talking about writing one more based on feedback and communication.
Yes.
What would you do differently in that process?
Oh gosh, in writing the book?
If anything, unless was it perfect process?
No, it was not perfect. No, I think maybe next time. Again, the way I really wrote it was using my phone. So just using the notes app and just talking into it. And so sometimes I'll be driving and a thought would come and about a new chapter or just expanding on a chapter. So just making sure I take advantage of those opportunities when I get an idea, to not like, oh, I'll think about it later, I'll write it later. Just do it. Just talking to my app so I have it for later. So I think that's one thing I would do. And I think that was a little bit of a time crunch because I really wanted to get it done by my birthday. So
that's true.
I could have taken,
which you did,
which I did.
You got a copy on the birthday.
I know, it's so exciting. So yeah, so maybe I could take a little bit more time with it, expand on it a little bit more.
And last question, if you could have a one sentence motto for your book,
oh my goodness,
what would that be? Like, that sums it up. Like, listening is important, but don't use that one.
Let's see, one
little catchphrase.
Well, stay curious.
Stay curious.
Yeah, I think so. I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for doing this today.
Thank you so much for interviewing me, Lainey.
Everyone buy this book. It's super good.
It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. And then also, there's also a journal that goes with it too. I think it's $8.99, and it's about 100 pages, a lot of blank pages at the end, but also those prompts are in there so you can take notes as things are happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching or listening today. See you next time on
Let's Chat About It. Bye.
Bye.